Da 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 Perry. Yeah, everyone, we are back with the next episode of Raven Creek Park here in Planet Zoo. And sorry, everyone, for this bad impression of the Perry the Platypus song, but I only did it because, of course, the next animal here in our wetland center will be the famous platypus, and I would be curious how many people just even learned about the platypus because of Phineas and Ferb. By the way, a great show of my childhood back then. Really loved to watch this, and was really funny. And of course, Perry the Platypus was one of the best parts with Dr. Doven Schmirtz, I think he is called in English. So yeah, today we are building for the platypus in Raven Creek, and it's a little bit of a special story because platypus aren't that common in zoos. But before I talk you a little bit through that, I will just say a word of warning or a little bit of a sorry if my voice sounds a little bit weird today. It's because I have a little bit of a cold. It just started yesterday and came all of a sudden out of nowhere. So if my voice sounds a little bit weirder than usual to you, then I hope you can forgive me for that. There's not much I can do, but I try my best, and I think I will also not make this voiceover too long because of that, because it also affects a little bit my voice here. But back to the video. We are building for the platypus, as I said. And platypus is a little bit of a story in zoos in general, because they are incredibly rare. To give you an example of how rare platypus are in zoos, currently, so at the moment in the real world, there are only 11 zoos worldwide, so on the whole planet, that have a platypus. 10 of these are in Australia, where the platypus native range is, and one of them, which is San Diego Zoo, is in America. No other zoo in Europe, in Asia, Africa, or South America has platypus in their collection, and this is due because of a couple of reasons. One of them, and the most obvious, being that these animals are incredibly nervous animals, and they are easily stressed, and there are even accounts of these animals dying because of stress. And the other one is that they are not that easy to transport, because they often also die because of transport. So it's very complicated to even get them in zoos that are outside of Australia, and I think that's one of the reasons San Diego today, or up to this date, is the only one successfully having them in a non-Australian zoo. There even were a few in European zoos and German zoos in the past, but none of these lived for much longer. So me choosing the platypus to have this platypus here in Raven Creek might wonder a couple of you, and I even talked to some people who said that I would say I want to do a realistic zoo, but then I have a platypus in my zoo. How does it fit together? And of course, yes, this is a little bit of a controversy, or this doesn't really make much sense. But my idea, once, I just also want to have this amazing animal in my zoo. So I think that it's okay if we don't go for realism for this one moment, because I really want to play with most of what this DLC is offering. And second, in my head I have a little bit of a story for this. So we are basically like in a partnership with an Australian zoo, maybe even with Melbourne Zoo or Sydney Zoo, so one of the bigger ones. And we are in a little partner program, buddy program, and so we sent them one of our animals like a beaver or something, we send them one of our typical animals. I would say, yeah, if we say that we send them a beaver because it's the state animal of Oregon, and so like as an ambassador animal, and for that they gave us a pair of 2 platypus. Yeah, I started with 1 platypus due to the diving, to the diving requirements, but in the end I managed to get 2 platypus in here, so we have a breeding pair. But yeah, to end the story, so this is Australian Zoo gave us one of these platypus as a kind of ambassador animal. So we are also in contact, like could also be something that we are in contact with San Diego Zoo to make sure these animals get the best care and treatment that is out there or outside of Australia possible. And so far we didn't have any problems. So, but they are more of a special guest that doesn't mean they will be here forever, and maybe somewhere in the future this exhibit will be used for a different animal instead, when we don't have the platypus anymore. And talking about the exhibit, I didn't even really mention about it, but it was a bit problematic first because of again the diving needs for these animals, because I wanted them to show their diving, so I had to dig down this whole exhibit for 2 meters and also have enough water area. I would had loved to make it a little bit smaller, but this was sadly not possible. But in the end, I think I did a very good job with this. We have these couple of different islands in between the water. We have the main bit, the background, then we have a couple of different islands that are also visible from the guest perspective, so breaking up the big body of water a little bit, giving different elevations. We have also a little of a flatter part, and later you will see we also add a small waterfall in the back between the mud walls. And yeah, it's I think it's one of my fastest builds that I ever built. I think I built it in 2 days, but it's also one of my favorite builds with diving animals so far. And it really was a lot of fun building for these animals and figuring out all these different things and stuff here. But as you might notice from the video, it was also a lot of cutting because I was testing out stuff here and there. I was trying things, and some things didn't work out. For example, I had as a roof for the exhibit, I had like a mesh roof that I also have for the crocodiles, which we haven't even seen that. You will see that in the finished showcase of the whole area. You will see that I changed a couple of things with the caiman area, the caiman habitat, after last episode because I didn't like it. But yeah, I had first this mesh roof over them, but this was felt a little bit too claustrophobic, and I later changed it to an open roof with some skylights so we get some natural light in here, which makes it feel a little bit more open. It's still more dark than I would like to, but this is, I think, something we cannot really change due to how this building is positioned, and I would be crazy if I would change the whole layout of all the habitats and everything. Maybe in the future when I don't have anything else to do, but so far this will stay like this. But I think it's okay. We are in the forest. We are in a thick forest. It's a little bit darker here from time to time, but the sun is still coming in, so I think that's fine. So yeah, we now make another island there, and this in background will be the base for our waterfall later. Which brings a little bit of a flow in here. Platypus. I was surprised when I looked up platypus exhibits in real life zoos, because I always imagined them to be like basically bigger exhibits or terrariums, aquariums, because these animals are very small. But I was really surprised when I saw the one in San Diego, as well as one, I think it was in Melbourne or Sydney, can't imagine anymore, but they are really big, to my surprise. I think one Australian zoo even has an outdoor as well as an indoor exhibit, and both are pretty big. and the one in San Diego also, yeah, isn't on the smaller side. So either they do this so that the animals are not stressed easily, or it has to do that these animals really need a lot of space. Either way, seeing these these really big exhibits made me feel better with my big exhibit here. In the end, it doesn't look that big, but it's still a lot of water area that could have easily been reduced to a smaller amount. But yeah, we also, as we saw before this cut, we also added a burrow in the background that will not be visible for guests. So we can have the burrow cam for our guests, so they can see when the animals go in the artificial burrow underground, and they also use it, so it's very nice, and we can see them on the billboards, so that is cool. But yeah, I noticed that my voice is a little bit cracking. So I will leave you now to the rest of the video and some nice music. And I see you then in the end in the real-time part where we look at the finished, habitat basically. And I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I'm very sorry for my voice today. I hoped it would be a little bit better yesterday. That it would be better today, and that I could do this voiceover more clear. But I think it was. I hope it was okay, and next time it will be better. But yeah, actually next time we will finish the main building that we are in right now. We will finish everything that is still missing, so the main building and all the planting and everything outside, and then we do our finished final tour of this wetlands experience, this wetlands area, before we again move back to the forest and the grizzly bears. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and I see you in the end of the video. So, and here we are now right in the real-time part, and I will give you a small and fast rundown of everything you saw in the speed build. We now stand in front of our new Platypus exhibit, and we can actually see them both in here. They look a little bit small in comparison to the exhibit, but they are due to how Planet Zeus yeah, terrain navigational area works. I had to give them a little bit more water area, but this is it. This is tucked away in this little side building. We have a couple viewing options for the platypus. We have this almost eye level earthy one, land-based one with a little bit of a river here. They have actually access to it. A little bit of enrichment item. We also have here the staff area, and we will have some information signs here as well as some information down here. Then of course we have the big underwater viewing area here, and they can actually dive. They just did it a couple minutes ago. Maybe they will do it for us. If not, I'm sure we will see it in the big end tour of this little project, part of the zoo, not project. But yeah, here we have the big underwater area where you can see underwater. You can watch them dive down below. And if you he's coming right to the glass. That's nice. Hello. You gonna okay? They stay on top. And if you go around the corner, you have another smaller view into the area. And yeah, you can also see them rest here, and you can learn something about their eggs. And this camera doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? It should show the animal burrow that we have in the background, so you can see if they use the burrow, and you can see them sleep. We have also information here. The green area marks where they are native to, and so yeah, we also have some little secrets for the for the kids visiting our zoo, as you might remember in the start of the episode. So yeah, this is the whole platypus area, platypus experience, so to say. We will have some additional signage later on advertising it, because it's of course the our ambassador animal from Australia, so a little of a special guest here. And the next episode of, as I said, will be finishing off this building, and then we have our big tour of the wetlands area. So yeah, looking forward to that one. And until then, I wish you a great day. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If so, maybe leave a like and maybe also a comment down below. And I hope I see you in the next episode. So goodbye everyone, have a great time, and always remember, you are the best and always you are special. So yeah, goodbye everyone, see you.